Good evening, graduands, and good evening, guests. Welcome to your Birmingham City University graduation ceremony. Thank you for joining us on this wonderful day to celebrate the achievements of our graduands. And while you've been waiting, you've been enjoying music performed by our very own Royal Birmingham Conservatoire Second City Brass Ensemble. Now, this ceremony also happens to be the final one of our summer season of 31 ceremonies, during which we've finally been able to celebrate the successes of those who graduated under the pandemic. So could I please ask you to give one big, loud thank you to the team backstage and in the auditorium, without whom none of these would have been possible. Thank you. On to business. The ceremony will soon begin, but before it does, we just have a few requests and announcements. Firstly, we are not expecting any testing of the fire alarm or any other disruption today. But if the alarm does sound or there is an emergency, our door stewards will direct you so that you can proceed quickly and safely to the nearest exit. Secondly, please turn off all mobile phones or leave them to silent. We welcome the taking of photos and videos, but if you're doing so, please do not block those in the audience in front of you. We have more than 550 students graduating today, and each one who crosses the stage is important to us. So please do clap and cheer as loudly as you wish as your graduand crosses the stage. The ceremony is expected to last approximately 1.5 hours. For families with small children, if your child becomes unsettled, we do have a separate viewing room where you can still watch the proceedings whilst tending to your child. Your nearest door steward will be able to help you. Graduands, this is important for you. You have been seated carefully and in a particular order to ensure that every person crosses the stage in the correct sequence. Please stay in your assigned seats, and when you are asked to process out of your row, please do not move out of your assigned order. It is important that you are sitting in the seat indicated on your registration card, and please do keep those cards with you until you reach the stage. If you have moved seat for any reason, please move back into your correct seat now. When you come back into the auditorium after crossing the stage to enjoy the rest of the ceremony, it is likely that you'll be sitting in a different seat, so please do not leave anything behind. Please also be courteous to your fellow graduands yet to cross the stage by clapping and celebrating their achievements too. And please do not use your mobile phones during the ceremony or otherwise distract others from enjoying the proceedings. Our graduation ceremonies are formal occasions that follow a time-honoured format. They begin with a fanfare, following which the academic procession and the Pro-Chancellor's procession will enter the hall. At the end of the ceremony, once the Pro-Chancellor closes proceedings, could I please ask everyone to stand once again and for guests to remain in their places while the procession and graduates exit the hall, after which you'll be able to join your parties to enjoy the rest of the evening. And please remember to enjoy the live music that we have available and the complimentary refreshments in the circle levels of the Symphony Hall foyer. But now we are about to begin. So could I please ask everyone to stand as the processions enter the hall? Thank you.
Well, good evening all. Welcome as I declare this congregation open. Please now take your seats and make yourselves comfortable. It's my pleasant duty to preside over this ceremony as Pro-Chancellor of the University, and I'm delighted to be part of such a wonderful celebration of our graduates' achievements, in the presence of families and friends. Will you please now show a warm welcome to our Vice-Chancellor, Professor Philip Plowden, as I call upon him to give the opening address.
Pro-Chancellor, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, and of course our amazing graduands. A very warm welcome to Birmingham City University's graduation ceremony, and as you will all probably know, this summer's graduations are the first ceremonies we've been able to hold in person since January 2020. So welcome to the amazing Symphony Hall here in the heart of Birmingham, a city that we are very proud to call our home. And graduation is always such a pleasure for each and every one of you who comes across the stage. It is a validation, a moment where we recognise your very considerable achievement. And what I would say, I think to all of you, not just those of you in the audience, as it were, but all of the graduates, can we make sure this evening that we really celebrate in style and that we congratulate every student for their amazing achievement? Because these ceremonies this summer have felt even more distinctive than they were before the pandemic, because after the last 2 years, these are very special indeed. And I'm really grateful. We've been enormously touched and perhaps even a little surprised at the sheer level of demand for many people travelling long distances to come back to the city in order to be able to celebrate in style and to mark your achievement. And I am delighted that during this summer we've done what we promised that we would do, even if it has taken a while, and that we have given each and every student who graduated from BCU over the past couple of years the opportunity to participate in a ceremony here in Symphony Hall without restrictions, without compromise, and in the presence of your friends, your family, and your supporters. So graduates in particular, this is of course absolutely your day. But this year, I think beyond any year, we need to start by acknowledging the people who've supported you on what has been a wholly exceptional journey. And around me here on the stage, just some of the academic staff who will have supported you during your learning and who I know are as proud of your achievement as you are. And less visible, all my colleagues in the professional support staff who don't just make these ceremonies run like clockwork, they make the university run like clockwork, and without them we wouldn't achieve anything. And last but by no means least, all around us here in Symphony Hall, perhaps watching in as well, your family, your friends, your supporters, the people who have been there for you when times were tough. And I'm sure during the past few years there have been some very tough times indeed. So graduates, I'd like to start off with a huge thank you to everyone who has supported you. The period of your studies has been one where you've seen change. You've had to understand the way in which change can come upon us almost overnight. Change which impacted on the way that you were going to study, the plans that you were making, how you lived your lives. And of course that impacted not just upon you then as students, but upon probably everyone else in this hall as well. So you, our graduands, and the rest of our BCU student community understand the impact of change and the significance of change better than most. But I hope that despite the challenges that you've faced, your time at BCU has been memorable for the right reasons as well, for the friendships that you have forged, and I'm sure it's some of that that has brought you back this evening, the communities that you have been part of, as well, of course, as the learning that you've mastered, and which is what we celebrate here this evening. But please, let's be clear about this. Yes, this is a graduation ceremony. Yes, we gather to recognise and to mark your academic achievement. But let's not forget how much more than that you have achieved. Because in order to get to this place, after the last couple of years of disruption, you have shown determination, you've shown adaptability, and above all, you've shown resilience. And those are amazing attributes, and they will stand you in good stead for your future. But notwithstanding the challenges all around us, of course, the university hasn't stood still, the world hasn't stood still for the last couple of years. And for the university, one really powerful symbol of that, which you will have seen if you've been down on our city centre campus today, has been the refurbishment of the old Belmont Works up on Jennings Road and Cardigan Street, to serve as a centre for the delivery of our interdisciplinary portfolio, bringing together many of the subjects that you have studied with other subjects in a kind of creative tension, because that is going to be the shape of the future. But it is great to bring one of the city's iconic buildings, the Belmont Works, back into use, because it's a symbol of the way that this university is part of the very fabric of the city and has been for almost 180 years now. And we know that times are tough, and probably they're going to get even tougher over the next few months. But there remains a real sense of buzz around this city. And much of that, of course, is because of the hugely successful Commonwealth Games, which I think showed the world what Birmingham and the West Midlands can do, what we are really like. It was wonderful to see our city and our region performing with such confidence and such style on an international stage. And if you haven't yet had a selfie with the now iconic bull, hopefully it will still be light enough when you get out into Centenary Square. So please do that. And of course, the bull sits against a backdrop of impressive new developments, from the wonderful City Library, the new developments at Paradise Circus, and even here at Symphony Hall, you may have seen the new spaces for both performance and for leisure. It's really a wonderful time to be here in Birmingham. And because BCU is so deeply part of the city, it's no surprise to see how many of our students were again deeply engaged in the games themselves. From our costume design students who designed the costumes for the opening festival, Birmingham 2022, to our students in the iconic School of Jewellery up in the Jewellery Quarter, who designed the medals that every athlete received up on the podium in the Commonwealth Games. They really do reinforce the message that we are the university for Birmingham. And the last couple of years, I think, have made clear, if there was ever any doubt, they've made clear that what happens in universities is so important. The role of research, the role of knowledge creation, the development of new practices and new understandings. Of course, nothing could bring this more vividly to life than the speed at which new vaccines were developed to help moderate the impact of the recent pandemic. Knowledge has never been more important, and that's something that each of you evidences as you celebrate your graduation today. And that's why this ceremony is so important, and why all of us at BCU were so committed to ensuring you had the opportunity to be here. It's why we get togged up in these rather odd-looking clothes, because this is part of a long-standing history of celebrating your great achievement as graduates. And why do we do that? We do it because graduates are important. In every society, graduates are important. The research tells us that graduates live longer, that graduates are more productive, that graduates contribute more to society around them because they're more likely to volunteer, to vote and to lead. The research says that graduates have better health. Of course, it does also say that graduates drink less. But above all, it tells us that graduates are best placed to deal with change. Now, many of you, I hope all of you, are going to live long, long lives. But what that means is that during your lives, the world in which you live will change not once, but many, many times. You'll have not one career, but many careers. And you'll often need to master new skills and new knowledge and to learn afresh. And that's where being a graduate is so important, because you have the skills that equip you to learn. You have the habits of learning. And today we celebrate not just what you have achieved. That's remarkable, and of course that's why we're here. But we also celebrate what you are going to go on to achieve. Now, our history as an institution can be traced all the way back to 1843, when we were founded as the wonderfully named Birmingham Government School of Design. And we were created back there in order to help the manufacturers of what was already becoming one of the great workshops of the world to compete globally. And of course, during the intervening years, we've changed often and often, but we've stayed true to our founding purpose, which is knowledge that makes a difference in the world around us, in ensuring that our graduates all around the world make a difference in their societies. So my challenge to you this evening is this. Absolutely, we are gathered here to celebrate your personal achievement and your personal transformation. But please don't let's limit it to that. See it also as part of a broader commitment, a commitment to transforming the world around you. Now, you'll all have seen the I Am BCU images around the campus and the city, and probably here in the ICC. And that came from you, our students. And when we talked to you about what I Am BCU meant, the words that came back to us were about pride, about confidence, but above all, that sense of belonging which makes this university such an extraordinary family. So you'll always be part of our BCU community and part of our outstanding alumni body. But this evening is very much your evening. It's the evening when we gather at long last and after many delays to celebrate your achievement. We look back, years in some cases, to what you set out to do. And this evening we celebrate the fact that despite all of the challenges in your way, you achieved that. You achieved what you set out to do, and that is remarkable. So my warmest congratulations to you all. Very well done. I now call upon the Pro-Vice-Chancellor and Executive Dean of the Faculty of Business, Law and Social Sciences, Professor Eileen McAuliffe, to commence the presentation of award holders and on the Pro-Chancellor to receive the students.
Pro-Chancellor, as Pro-Vice-Chancellor and Executive Dean, I present students from the Faculty of Business, Law and Social Sciences who have qualified for the award of degrees, diplomas and certificates. I commence by presenting the candidates for the award of research degree. For the award of Doctor of Philosophy, a thesis entitled "To Test, Evaluate and Contribute to the Development of the Mindful Construal Diary in Clinical and Non-Clinical Populations," I present Dr. Henna Priya Kaur Bahia. For the award of Doctor of Philosophy, a thesis entitled Leaderful Practices in a Social Movement Organisation, the case study of Black Lives Matter. I present Dr. Ashley Cole. For the award of Doctor of Philosophy, a thesis entitled The Occupational and Biopsychosocial Wellbeing of Speech and Language Therapists Practicing Clinically in the United Kingdom, I present Dr. Claire Owen. For the award of Doctor of Philosophy, a thesis entitled It's a Family Affair. Victims, families, depictions of perpetrators, web abuse towards victims of intimate partner homicide and the role of digital media. I present Dr. Morag Kennedy. For the award of Doctor of Philosophy, a thesis entitled Exploring the Proximity Effect, Underlying Mechanisms and Impact on Food Consumption, I present Dr. Daniel Knowles. I now invite Professor Craig Jackson to the lectern to present award holders from the School of Social Sciences.
Master of Arts in Criminology, Lily Ahern. Georgia Awua. Chanel Jade Bishton. Alexander Black. Sally Elizabeth Alice Brown. Angelica Benzion. Thomas Clark. Amy Collins. Samuel Flaherty. Stacey Foster. Leanne Marie Hadigan. Jessica Hughes. Ruqayya Sajid Hassan. Saima Islam. Katie Jacob. Skylar Jennings. Ayodeji Johnson. Ikra Khalid. Sharonjit Kaur. Robert Lees. Lisa Mahmood. Christina Manoli. Georgia Potter. Brianna Power. Becky Riley. Alice Rosenthal. Daniela Sequeira Alves. Yelena Trifonova. Rio Waldock. Chloe Walsh. Holly Whitlock. Esme Ragg. Postgraduate Diploma in Criminology, Zaina Khwaja. Master of Arts in Security Studies, Maram Abdul Qader. Alice Archer. Selina Badhen. Taslima Begum. AJ Powell Bogal. George Coates. Bethany England. Bethany Powell. Monica Tucker. Joshua Wright. Master of Science in Forensic Psychology, Luana Santos. Sophie Atkinson. Kimali Bennett. Natasha Blur. Ellie Damrill. Amy Davies. Priya Dosanjh. Chloe Fox. Kira Gibson. Holly Gossage. Megan Hanley. Emma Horton. Rebecca Jones. Mark Kelly. Hannah Kelsall. Shivani Kelly. Kelly McGonigal. Sharae McGowan. Aruj Mirza. Gina Louise Mottram. Jessica New. Emily Platt. Master of Science in Psychology, Laura Hill. Master of Science in Forensic Psychology, Georgia Powell. Alexa Reed. Heather Rouse. Rachel Smythe. Corinne Stewart. Catherine Summers. Alexis Trigani Kirkwood. Jessica Wright. Emily May Yardley. Master of Science in Health Psychology, Nazia Begum. Shamaila Begum. Kieran Bopare. Paige Clark Jeffers. Iman Esadiki. Karen Grisette. Alicia Hussain. Anam Iqbal. Sophie Lloyd. Dino Lorman. Amrita Singh Matharu. Zayn Mirza. Shafali Morris. Kate Moole. Chiuma Julie Uji-Jibi. Halima Kayum. Fajar Rizal. Hissam Shafiq. Sean Smith. Alexander Womersley. Master of Science in Integrative Psychotherapy, Fiona Brooke. Karine Chung. Hugh Clark. Julia Gillis Wilkes. Rosina Hassan. Elizabeth Whiting. Sandra Woodman. Master of Science in Policing and Intelligence Analysis. Sorry, I'll try that again. Master of Science in Policing and Intelligence Analysis. Naomi Amponsa. Eden Bridges. Sean O'Rourke. Catherine Taylor. Master of Science in Psychology, Katie Andrews. Christopher Bailey. Connie Barnes. Pauline Claire Bruin. Jamie Corser. Lillian Chuchu. Paula Cosgrove. Akshatha Ganjo Asoka. Joanne Catherine Blakeman. Stephanie Harris. Molly Higgins. Aman J. Kumar. Venetia Faith Mayle. Brian E. Merriman. Natalie Mihailovich. Chelsea Papworth. Melissa Perkins. Emily Popsis. Sarah Rushton. Jade Semaine. Lucy Tier. Georgia Travers. Keris Weaver. Rebecca Wilkes. Olga Wura. Lucy Tully-Duggan. Alicia Zaman. Bachelor of Arts with Honours in Black Studies, Caprice Bound. Sarah Bristol Abbott. Jennifer Byfield. Charmaine Heath. Trey Carell Samuels. Maria Robinson. Joyce Treasure. Bachelor of Arts with Honours in Criminology, Amna Eliza Abbas. Sophia Adams. Almas Ahmad. Masamat Akhtar. Nadia Akhtar. Romana Ali. Master of Arts in Criminology, Adriana Nugam. Bachelor of Arts with Honours in Criminology, Shabnam Ali. Jacob Allen. Manpreet Ulak. Poonam Batra. Atlanta Bassi. Simran Bedi. Connor Beasley. Aisha Begum. Hafsa Begum. Rahima Begum. Ruhina Begum. Sharmila Begum. Olivia Berger. Raheem Bilal. Kiana Blake. Molly Blythe. Star Bonner. Katie Bowie. Uranjot Branch. Rachel Brown. Amy Brownsword. Suzette Bueller. Alicia Bungard. Emma Burgoyne Williams. Jack Burke. Phoebe Burns Seymour. Hannah Burton. Jodie Butler. Anita Cara. Amy Carr. Olivia Cartwright. Sophie Chamberlain. Karanjit Chima. Mohammed Chowdhury. Megan Clark. Francesca Cole. Catherine Cook. Adele Cooper. Florence Cooper. Nicole Daly. Jacob Davison. Casey Dean. Jade Deely. Simran Divit. Harriet Dewis. Siobhan Donovan. Eliska Duskova. Georgia Edmead. Megan Fairhurst Marsh. Olivia Fazakali. Christy Field. Amelia Fowles. Hannah Granger. Jessica Hargrove. Katie Harron. Max Hayward. Charlotte Victoria Highsmith. Chloe Hill. Jake Holden. Cassie Hollis. Amy Hudson. Chloe Hunt. Ruqayya Hussain. Memona Ilyas. Pearl Imimi Home. Sania Javed. Shameen Johnson. Stacey Kanya. Adil Khan. Hannah Khan. Abida Kanom. Maisha Kanoon. Fanaz Khatun. Jetmira Kika. Shanae Knight. Margot Congolo. Chloe Lee. Molly Layden. Daniel Lockley. Hannah Mangan. Holly Mansfield. Anissa Mateen. Fatima Mason. Gracia Mabuli Wamayunga. Lewis Maguire Deeks. Daniel McInnes. Evelyn Mensa. Liam Miles. Nia Miller Cox. Samra Mirza. Catherine Monkton. Nia Moorhead. Asia Morton. Rimsha Mughal. Olivia Nadine. Francesca Nugent. Jordan Oakes. Jade Oddy. Liberty O'Doherty. Lete Opoku Nasfawa. Morgan Parry. Jade Patel. Kajia Phillips. Rachel Pollard. Kriana Price. Megan Punj. Emily Rackham. Shayla Rima. Mohammed Reman. Ellie Louise Roberts Harper. Lucy Rossiter. Kirandeep Sangera. Oluwabaseo Sanusi. Megan Scotton. Katie Seymour. Islam Shaban. Ella Shared. Chloe Smith. Louise Smith. Nicole Smith. Jasrina Sodi. Victoria Specuti. Hannah Sulsh. Rebecca Sidney. Ava Taroni. Shannon Timlin. Shannon Jade Uliet. Marcus Vaughan. Tiana Vaughan Taylor. Chloe Wall. Bethan Walters. Charlotte Warren. Emily Webb. Danielle Wildman. Bethany Williams. Paige Yates. Samir Zahir. Nadine Ruddock. Bachelor of Arts in Criminology, Sophie King. This completes the first presentation of awards to graduates from the School of Social Sciences.
This completes the first presentation of the graduates from the Faculty of Business Law and Social Sciences. I now invite the Vice-Chancellor to introduce the recipient of the Honorary Award of Doctor of the University. Vice-Chancellor.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is an absolute honour this evening for us to be conferring the award of Doctor of the University upon Francis Crook, and I now call upon the University Orator to give the citation.
Pro-Chancellor, Vice-Chancellor, distinguished guests, colleagues, graduands. Today we confer the degree of Honorary Doctor of Birmingham City University honoris causa on Francis Crook. Ladies and gentlemen, it's often said that the way governments treat migrants is a sign of how they would treat the rest of us, given the chance. The same may be said of those in prison, The great Russian novelist Fyodor Dostoevsky wisely said that a society should be judged not by how it treats its outstanding citizens, but by how it treats its criminals. And long before Dostoevsky wrote that, the same thought inspired a man called John Howard as he surveyed the brutal treatment of prisoners in Bedford jail and the corruption of their officers. He set out on tours of Europe in search of more humane regimes. Later, in 1866, a reform movement adopted his name, and in 1921 that movement became known as the Howard League for Penal Reform, and between 1986 and 2020, carrying John Howard's torch into the darker recesses of our penal system, the Howard League's chief executive has been our guest of honour today, Francis Crook. After schooling at the Camden School for Girls in London, Frances took a BA in history at the University of Liverpool. She trained and worked as a teacher for a while. Then, inspired by, like John Howard, by compassion, she worked a 6-year stint for the British section of Amnesty International before joining the Howard League. Now, in the feverish, polarised atmosphere we currently inhabit, when you're more likely to be cheered for advocating the death penalty or throwing away a key than arguing for prisoner education or different kinds of punishment altogether, it is easy to misunderstand the Howard League's mission. But less crime, safer communities, and fewer people in prison reads the mantra on their website. Their recent programs are focused on transforming prisons, reducing child arrests, promoting real work in custody, and ending the criminalization of children in residential care. In its 100-year history, the Howard League has campaigned successfully for the National Probation Service, the Prisoners' Advice Service, and the Victims' Compensation Scheme. Now, one of Francis Crook's great missions as chief executive was to ensure that fewer children enter the criminal justice system at all, and that those who do are treated humanely, with a view to ensuring that they can lead productive adult lives. And the scale of that challenge is vividly illustrated by the 2015 report they conducted on the infamous Rainsbrook Detention Centre, then one of 4 secure training centres housing children as young as 13. Before the visit, it was known there had been suicides, death by unlawful restraint. What was really shocking was the everyday nature of the degrading treatment there. The racist comments, the staff taking illegal drugs, the provision of pornography, the epidemic of self-harming. But more shocking, perhaps, was that the centre had been created as a privately run enterprise, keeping it away from the prying eyes of government agencies and the media and the rest of us. As Dostoevsky might have said, a society should be judged not by how it treats its outstanding citizens, but by how it treats its criminals, especially when they are children. In a similar vein, we might say that we should judge a person not by what they do in their day job, but what they give back to society over and beyond it. School governorships, community roles, a period on the board of the University of Greenwich, non-executive director of the School Food Trust, and now co-convener of the Commission on Political Power. In all these ways, Frances Crook has exercised the community spirit that has informed her entire professional life. As a visiting fellow, she has lent her unmatched professional experience to the Scarman Centre at the University of Leicester and the London School of Economics. And for her service to youth justice, she was awarded an OBE in the 2010 New Year's Honours List. Now, ladies and gentlemen, Francis Crook's career shows what it means to exercise curiosity and compassion in the service of others. And whatever your subject, whatever your politics, her career is a reminder that if we choose not to lift the lid on what happens in our institutions of state, if we choose, so to speak, to throw away the key, we are not only demeaning ourselves, but we are making more trouble for ourselves in the future. So, Pro-Chancellor, Vice-Chancellor, distinguished guests, colleagues, graduands, It gives me great pleasure to invite the Vice-Chancellor to confer the degree of Honorary Doctor of Birmingham City University honoris causa on Francis Crook.
As Vice-Chancellor, I exercise the authority of the University's Academic Board, and I'm delighted to confer the award of Doctor of the University honoris causa on Francis Crook. And I invite you, Pro-Chancellor, to present the commemorative medal. That completes the conferment of the award of Doctor of the University honoris causa, and I now invite Francis to address the congregation.
Pro-Chancellor, Vice-Chancellor, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, graduates and families. Thank you for inviting me to share this very special day with you and with your families. And thank you, Birmingham City University. It's a great honour. You should be immensely proud of your achievements because you've had a particularly challenging experience during the pandemic. So first and foremost, congratulations. You're brilliant. Perhaps one day, in the distant future, you will be standing where I am now, honoured to be recognised for a career in trying to contribute to a better world. A question you might ask yourself today is, imagine you are standing here thanking the university for an honorary degree. What would you be talking to students about? And what would you have done in your life to merit it? This is a day to think about what you've achieved so far, but also to think about what you will do next. And I hope that you too will devote your life to doing something good. I spent my professional life working for justice in the criminal justice system. I started by running campaigns to abolish the death penalty and torture worldwide by working for Amnesty International. And for the last 30 years, I was chief executive of the Howard League for Penal Reform, a charity that asks the questions, what is the best way to keep citizens safe? And what do you do with someone when they have transgressed? Justice is the fundamental support of our democracy. When people cannot get justice for themselves and for others, democracy is in trouble. But I don't want you to think that justice is a synonym for revenge or punishment. It isn't. Justice is about fairness, keeping people safe, but it must also be about redemption. Old-fashioned ideas, perhaps, but timeless ideas. I got to visit almost every prison in this country and many around the world. I can tell you that only on very rare occasions did I see any evidence that prisons help victims, the taxpayer, and the people incarcerated in them. Very few people emerge from prison better people. Indeed, the majority of people released from prison go on to be convicted of more crimes. My proudest success was to work with the police to keep children and young people out of the criminal justice system altogether and out of prison. When I started this work, I found the police carried out 1/3 child arrests in 1 year. After campaigning for a decade, they'd reduced this to 70,000. That's a massive reform. It meant that children didn't experience the terrifying trauma of being locked in a police cell. Parents weren't infuriated and alienated from the police, and the police could concentrate on more serious crimes. And lo and behold, crime was reduced by children, a success for everyone. Change can be achieved. Often the independent voluntary sector is a force for change. It's a career I would recommend. You have the future in your hands. You have made a wonderful start. I hope you will go on and lead a good life, that you do well, but most importantly, that you do good. Thank you again. I'm grateful for the honour and pleased to be here to share your special day. Thank you.
I now invite Professor Eileen McAuliffe to continue the presentation of award holders from the faculty.
I invite Professor Craig Jackson to the lectern to continue to present award holders from the School of Social Sciences.
Bachelor of Arts with Honours in Criminology and Security Studies, Alicia Borley. Caitlin Bodwin. Sophie Brown. Courtney Jane Cooper. Sylvia De Giuseppe. Simran Kaur Delay. Shamreen Durrani. Chloe Edwards. Keisha Gardner. Lauren Gardner. Jerome Graham. James Guffard. Caitlin Howlett. Alia Iqbal. Supriya Kale. Mohammed Khan. Emily King. Laurice Lambert. Matthew Lynch. Jacob Newton Sandy. Kathleen Nisai. Hannah Price. Kira Pym. Megan Robbins. Curtis Ruddick. Shania Sandhu. Rajan Sangha. Shelby Thomas. Taryn Thompson. Victor Walters. Madison White. Tanya Williams. Jessica Woodhouse. Lizetti Abia. Bachelor of Arts with Honours in Criminology, Policing and Investigation, Debbie Akinwande. Naheem Ali. Emma Butler. Rebecca Cheeseman. Holly Clark. Rachel Crowther. Daniel Wynne Davis. Kira Davies. Francesca Dempsey. Alicia Devi. Tanisha Dickinson. Mila Dunkley. Elizabeth Guy. Eleanor Hall. Sean Hancock. Rosemary Hansford. Hayley Leanne Headland. Lily Hughes. Zahir Hussain. Zainab Hussain. Elia Islam. Rajul Islam. Anika Jamroz. Sadia Javed. Katrin Jones. Raj Kang. Aman Kanuta. Ruksa Kosa. Mariam Khan. Sana Khan. Joseph Kilkenny. Austin Lee Swerve. Sean Lloyd. Thomas Maloney. Luke McDermott. Ikram Nassar. Chelsea Parker. Ellie Parker. Hannah Peverley. Akshay Fahani. Linda Polska. Jenna Powis. Minhas Kadir. Madia Raymond. Megan Ryder. Tia Rodriguez. Folashade Ross. Rabia Shafiq. AJ Shimar. Zainab Sophie. Lewis Stanley. Nikhil Topiwala. Amelia Totti. Avnish Ubi. Halima Shafak. Isabel Vowles. Sophie Watts. Daisy War. Dominic Wills. Certificate of Higher Education in Criminology, Michaela Green. Bachelor of Arts in Social Studies, Brandy Badiembi. Bachelor of Arts with Honours in Sociology, Vivian Adigoke. William Aldridge. Olivia Bridges. Megan Chamberlain. Jodie Childs. Syra Fazy. Jodie Howe. Henna Iqbal. Saber Jangir. Fatou Kar. Kajid Koza. Emma Latham. Rabia Makbul. Hamima Patel. Saimoon Sagir. Danish Shochat. Danielle Stockton. Natasha Stoves. Seema Tahiri. Yuma Torre. Lucy Williams. Charlie Risk. Bachelor of Arts with Honours in Sociology and Criminology, Rachel Achunine. Victoria Agbozo. Zabi Ahmed. Shanice Angel White. Joseph Ayres. Trevette Bailey. Alice Bainbridge. Lauren Bassett. Salma Begum. Tasnia Begum. Bethany Bennett. Malika Barham. Ayman Fiza Butt. Karanjit Chauhan. Trinae Connolly. Lucy Davies. Osasu Edibor Aswen. Abigail Furlong. Aaliyah Gandam. Jade Alicia Hall. Thomas Hammond. Humaira Hack. Catherine Hickley. Melanie Ibrahimu. Abigail Joseph Kerr. Brianna Kara. Hassan Ali Hussein. Syra Corser. Fozia Khalil. Kulsum Kanon. Amal Mayub. Emma Donna Najeme. Samara Sagir. Zafrana Parveen. Billy O'Shea. Shivani Patel. Alice Prestige. Molly Raper. Aisha Sadiq. Alia Shabir. Manur Shah. Alicia Sonde. Elizabeth Tong. Alice Wallbank. Molly Wareham. Michelle Mwandi. Bachelor of Arts with Honours in Criminology, Fahmi Omar. Simranveer Kaur. Demoya Davidson. Ikra Hussain. Chloe Jones. Leslie Osawuru. Grace Bignell. Danny Hagan. Callum Singh. Bachelor of Arts with Honours in Black Studies, Tracy Stewart. Rami Tickle. Natalie Marriott. Bachelor of Arts with Honours in Sociology and Criminology, Jodelle McCoy Wilson. Alicia Mim. Samira Nawaz. Kalima Akhtar. Bachelor of Arts with Honours in Sociology, Lisa Omaruyi. Bachelor of Arts with Honours in Criminology, Policing and Investigation, Harris Ali. Maruana Chimuka. Tamia Ezana Greaves. Master of Science in Psychology, Natalie Gaskin. Diploma of Higher Education in Criminology, Policing and Investigation, Eleanor Burke. Master of Arts in Criminology, Doris Malon Ocon. Bachelor of Arts with Honours in Criminology and Security Studies, Mohammed Omar. And that completes the presentation of awards to graduates from the School of Social Sciences.
This completes the presentation of graduates from the Faculty of Business, Law and Social Sciences. I now invite Sarah Bristol Abbott, who has graduated from our Bachelor of Arts in Black Studies this evening, to address the congregation.
Evening, everyone. Whew. Evening and welcome friends, family, staff and fellow graduates of 2022. It is truly a great honour to be asked to speak with you all today. A special day for me and my family, just as I'm sure it is for all of you as we celebrate the culmination of our studies. I would like to begin by thanking our Pro-Chancellor and other academic colleagues for taking the time to join us today as we celebrate our academic achievements. If you'd asked me in 2017, as I completed my application for my undergraduate, would I be standing here talking to you all today? Honestly, the thought would have terrified me. But my time here at BCU has truly transformed me as an individual, both professionally and personally. As I embark on the next chapter of my life, having completed my Masters, now a senior member of BCU's widening participation team, and beginning my doctorate in education, I have the patience, support and encouragement of the Black Studies faculty to thank for these successes. I would like to congratulate Black Studies' first graduate of cohort of graduates. Their presence and action in the community is apparent, and they truly are an asset to this institution. Well done to all of you. Studying over these last few years has been nothing short of challenging. My peers before me are a mix of graduates dating back to 2021 due to COVID-19, myself included. I beam with pride to be part of a generation of learners that succeeded despite all the odds and will go on to transform this country's future. As we set out on the next stage of our lives, we're still individuals with our own distinct ambitions, but we were also united as graduates of 2022, a permanent part of this university's history. Congratulations to you all. I would now like to invite the Pro-Chancellor to close the ceremony. Thank you.
I think with a full hall we can give Sarah a much better round of applause than that, don't you? And while I'm talking about thank yous at the moment, there are one group of individuals in the hall who have been on this stage over the last 6 weeks, performing to over 30-degree ceremonies, and today is no different. They entertained you at the beginning of the ceremony. Will you please give a very warm hand to the musicians of the Royal Birmingham Conservatory? Well, it simply remains for me to add my personal congratulations to all those of you receiving awards today. And I offer my very best wishes to you all for the future, whatever that may bring. I've been around long enough to know it's not a great idea to stand in the way one moment longer as celebrations beckon, no doubt, with family and friends, and the evening is yet young. So I now declare this congregation closed. We'd be very grateful if you'd stand and remain in your places while the stage processions leave the hall. Thank you all very much indeed for your attendance.